Good early afternoon. We are live. I'm Andy Andrews. You've joined us on the Blue Plate Special. We're here in Orange Beach, Alabama. Beautiful sunny day. Wisdom Harbor Studios at the Wharf, home of the famous Marlin statues. And, can you hear me out there, Lil Liam? Good. And the famous escalator statues. That's right. When you come visit us, be sure to stand on them, have your picture taken on them. They are life-size, one of the most incredible works of art you have ever seen. And there are 4 of them here, so they're scattered around the complex. Hey, you like the shirt? This is a Southern Tide shirt from $100 Lifestyles. Matthew, look at that back. Isn't that pretty? That's pretty, isn't it? That's pretty. So, $100 Lifestyles, the cornerstone of the Wharf, and visit them sometime. They have millions of shirts. If you're new to us, we're glad to have you here. We have a great show planned. I'm just telling you, this is going to be a very serious show. We're going to be discussing the top 10 animals Noah should have thrown off the ark. Very serious show. Going biblical on you. If you're new to us here, we sometimes get very serious here. This is Lunchtime Learning and Laughter, the Blue Plate Special. If you're joining us on Facebook and you're new, please click that notification button and be sure to turn the notifications on your phone to the on position. That way, anytime we go live, you will be notified. And if you could, share, okay? There's a little share button down there, and you can share this show to your page. And you can do that now while we're live, or you can do it if you're watching it later. You can just click the share button, share it to your page. That's all there is to it. And if you're here with LinkedIn, we're glad to have you. If you're on Twitter, glad to have you. And if you're on YouTube, we're glad to have you. And there's a subscription button that you can press there, and we would appreciate it. That would help. Diane Hale, hey from Tennessee. Marcy Cross Taylor from Pasco, Washington. Patricia Clapp from North Carolina. You shared. Thank you so much. Sandra Mendonca, about to share from Searcy, Arkansas, home of Harding University, where they ate their mascot. Joy Gregory. Hey, did you like the Gordon Mote interview? You know, today's podcast, the Professional Noticer podcast came out, and I think this is one of our best, okay? Gordon Mote was the guest, and if you haven't seen this, you have to go see it, all right? I mean, it's very special. We had a great time with Gordon. And let's see, who's that? What's that? Margaret Davis Holt. Shared from the cooler Northeast Mississippi and really enjoyed the interview with musical genius. He is a genius, Gordon Mote. He's amazing. Loved watching his fingers while he played. I have to have all the music in front of me. Well, you know, Gordon could put the music in front of him too, but it wouldn't really matter because he's blind. Let's see. We're seeing just tons of Eva Jean Hodge from Elkin, North Carolina. Tons of people loving the podcast with Gordon Mote. Man, please spread that around. Please share that with your friends. And if you haven't already gone to, what is it? iTunes?
Yeah, to get the episode?
Yeah, to review it.
Yeah, go to iTunes.
Yeah, if you haven't ever reviewed the Professional Noticer and you feel inclined to give it a 5-star review, we would appreciate you doing that. That actually really, really helps because that's how they determine where, you know, the show lands and how many people actually get to see it.
And actually, so technically, like the iTunes has now turned into its own podcast app, but you know, you can get there multiple places, but it's actually just called Podcasts now.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. Well, there's the technical answer. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But we would appreciate your reviews on these podcast apps. They really, really help. Thomas McMillan, hey, from Connecticut. You guys are celebrating, you and your wife celebrating 42 years of anniversary of marriage today. Awesome. Congratulations. Kevin Perkins, old man, is here. Glad you're here. Gary Stuckey from Bruton, Alabama. Bruton. Zenel Ray Street, St. Louis. Hello from Florida. Argyle Welch. Gail from Illinois. And Deanna Valley Spradlin, South Carolina girl, watching from Bahaba, Maine. You know, why does Maine have the abbreviation ME? I don't really get that. Anyway, but I guess because MA is Massachusetts. Serena Stoll Garner, love Gordon Moat. Man, I'm telling you, we're seeing a ton of people. Paige Stoll also is reading Heartmender now. Literally checked out all of the books from the library. All of the books from the library, or all of my books from the library. Because if you've checked out all of the books from the library, then nobody else can get any. Gloria Miles, love Gordon Moat from Michigan. I'm telling you, you got to watch this podcast and please share it. Please review it. That would really, really help. All right, you ready to get started on the top 10 animals Noah should have kicked off the ark? Now, I'm going to tell you, this is a very special episode to me. I am an animal lover, but I am going to be very, very honest with you today. I don't want any letters. I don't want any mean comments. If you're going to be mean, if you're going to be offended, just go ahead and sign off right now. Right now, we'll give you just a moment. Okay, they're gone. The people who are going to be offended and the people who are going to be mean are gone. And now, hey Jennifer, now we're about to go with the top 10 animals Noah should have kicked off the ark. Ready? Number 10, sloths. Sloths. Sloths are ugly, they're slow, and they're actually the face of one of the 7 deadly sins. So why do we need a sloth? I don't think we do. I don't think we do. And if Noah had tossed the sloth, don't give me a thumbs down. I said any mean people or any offended people, and that includes you, little M, you can just turn around if you're going to be mean and give me a thumbs down. I say Noah could have caught the sloth. He could have caught it. And he surely didn't want to look at it because they're ugly. Okay, number 9. Number 9 is warthogs. Yep. Wart and hog. I think that says it all. They're ugly, they're dirty, and they stink. And female warthogs abandoned their young. Did we need that kind of parental example out in the animal kingdom? I don't think so. Number 8. You ready for this? I believe that Noah should have kicked off the ark bats. Because bats give rabies and histoplasmosis. And if that isn't enough reason to kick them off the ark, I don't know what is. Rabies and histoplasmosis. And people say they aren't dangerous to humans. All right, look at this. Look at this. You see a bite on her neck? They are dangerous to humans. They are. And Noah should have thrown them off the ark. It's a well-known fact that because Noah didn't throw them off the ark, Noah was bitten in the neck and later became a vampire. It's his own fault. Number 7, rolling through the top 10 animals Noah should have kicked off the ark. Number 7 is rats. Rats. Bubonic plague, typhus, leptospirosis, and of course, that doesn't even include the Black Death, which in 4 years in Europe killed an estimated 25 million people in Europe. So if 25 million deaths are not enough to get rid of the rats, thank you, Noah. I mean, talking about the butterfly effect, that was Noah's fault. The 25 million deaths. And listen, you can't get rid of them. Rats begin breeding as soon as 5 weeks of age. And they continue breeding until about age 2. Females are fertile approximately every 3 weeks. And during this time, they've been known to mate up to 600 times in 6 hours. And the resulting pregnancy usually lasts only 3 weeks. Then the babies are born, and the litter size typically ranges from 6 to 20 babies. I was sitting in New York City in a restaurant one time, and one thing about New York is there's no garbage cans. They just there's garbage bags. They just throw them out in front of, and there's very few alleys, and so they just throw them out on the sidewalk. And I'm sitting in a restaurant, and I'm looking, and there's 2 rats going up to the. I mean, we're sitting there eating, and right there is a rat in New York. New York. The Big Apple. They actually have a rat in New York that they call the pizza rat. Okay, but Chicago tops the list of the most rat-infested U.S. cities. According to a list compiled by Orkin, the Big Apple was second. Okay, Chicago first, New York second, followed by Washington, D.C. You can make your own politician rat joke here. Gary Stuckey said, we all know Noah kicked off the unicorn he could have traded for rats. That's exactly right. And of course, we've all seen the picture of the dinosaurs standing on the rock, watching the ark sail away, and one dinosaur says to the other, was that today? So, number six on the top 10 list of animals Noah should have kicked off the ark. Spiders. Just ask SB. Ask SB if she is glad Noah kept spiders on the ark. She is not. Number 1, they bite. Now look here. This is a bite from a non-poisonous spider. Look at this foot. Can we see the foot? Was there not a foot in that email? Oh, there it is. That is a bite, my friends, from a non-poisonous spider on a skinny person's foot. There are 49,623 species of spiders. Now, I don't know if Noah carried 2 spiders on the ark, and those gradually morphed into 49,623 species, or if Noah carried almost 100,000 spiders on the ark. I mean, I don't know which one it was.
I don't know. I got to switch back to the regular spider picture. I can't look at that foot anymore.
Yeah. Ooh. Now that, do you know what kind of spider that is, Matt?
A terrifying one?
Yeah, terrifying one. That is a banana spider. And those things are in the woods. And Kevin, old man, I mean, tell him, you have not ever been scared until you've been walking in turkey hunting in the dark with no flashlight, and you're walking down a logging road, creeping, trying to be quiet, walking in before daylight, and just wrap a banana spider and the web just right under your face. It's one of the most terrifying things you will ever experience. I'm just telling you. So, number 6 was spiders. Now, you ready for the top 5? Okay, top 5. This is getting pretty much down to it. Number 5 is ticks. You know, to me, nothing is just nastier than a tick. I mean, they're just nasty. Do you know there are 16 tick-borne diseases of humans, which are known, of which 4 of the 16 have been discovered since 2013. And one of them, let me tell you what one of them is. I told a doctor this the other day, and he had not heard of this. But if you are an outdoorsman and you read Field and Stream or Sports Field or Outdoor Life or something like that, or Sporting Classics or any one of the hunting magazines, you already know of this. The Lone Star tick, it causes, I can't even remember what the disease is called, but for a long time, for about 10 years, people were having these symptoms, and they didn't know what was wrong. But they would eat red meat and get sick and throw it up, and they could not eat any red meat at all. Little M, you think I'm kidding? This funny to you? This is not funny. This is serious business. I know one person that has that, and John Grisham was one. For 3 or 4 years, John Grisham would eat red meat and just get deathly ill and had no idea what it caused it. Well, it's the Lone Star tick. You can Google the Lone Star tick, and that's just one of the ticks. I mean, you know, our boys, Austin and Adam, they said they would just rather, you know, just perish than not be able to eat a steak. And so we really spray down when we go into the woods. I mean, we really, because, you know, I don't like ticks, but I really don't like Lone Star ticks. All right, number 4. Number 4. Snakes, Junior. Snakes. Always has to be snakes. All right, now, snakes, people say, oh, you know, not all snakes are bad. There's good snakes. Really? How many times have you seen a good snake on a TV show or in a movie? Have you seen a good snake? You know, Adam and Eve, when the snake came and told Eve the big fib, the snake was Satan. You can't get any worse than Satan. I mean, I think, you know, there's like Stalin, Hitler, and Satan. Satan's like down there. And Satan was a snake. In the Jungle Book, Kaa. Think about Kaa. And Kaa's going, trust in me. Trust in me. Oh, really? Some people say, oh, you know, well, this snake won't hurt you. Heart attacks kill people. Heart attacks kill people. And I don't really mind a snake over there in a cage, over there. If I can see him over there, and somebody says, hey, there's a snake over there in a cage, I can go, oh, good. But man, I don't want to see one like right there. Serena Stahl Garner says all snakes give me a heart attack. That's what I'm saying. Poisonous, non-poisonous, it doesn't really matter. Because I'll give you a heart attack. A heart attack will kill you quicker than poison. That's what I got to say about that. And have you seen what snakes have done to the Everglades? My sister says a good snake is a dead snake. Mike Williams, amen on snakes. Have you seen what has happened to the Everglades? You know, people let their little pet pythons go. And now there are no raccoons, there are no possums, there's very few animals in the Everglades. I mean, they're eating deer, they've eaten all the possums and the raccoons. And these things are massive. Just Google that. Google pythons in the Everglades or anacondas or whatever they are. And let me tell you something. You know, you look at a snake and or anaconda or a boa constrictor, and you think, well, I could handle that. I would take care of that, or I would just play dead, and then he would let me go. Look, once one of those snakes wraps you up, get this. There's no way you can play dead or play possum and just hope the snake lets you go. You know why? Because that snake can sense your heartbeat. And he don't start eating till there's no heartbeat. How about that? Yeah. Okay. All right. Number 3. And don't even talk to me about people keeping snakes in their house. I mean, in their house? Are you kidding me? Okay, number 3. Number 3. Why didn't Noah just go and get rid of the mosquitoes? That's all it would have taken to get rid of all the mosquitoes, and it would have been over. You know, mosquitoes and the diseases they have spread have been responsible for killing more people than all the wars in history. How about that? Even today, mosquitoes transmitting malaria kill 2 million to 3 million people. In addition, mosquitoes infect nearly 700 million people each year with some disease, almost 1 out of every 10 people on Earth. You know, Gary Stuckey says this is like the anti-wild kingdom. Yeah, and Noah could have taken care of this. Noah could have taken care. That's all it would take. Malaria, chikungunya, dogs, heartworms. You have to give your dog heartworm pills. That's mosquitoes. Dengue fever, yellow fever, Eastern equine encephalitis, St. Louis encephalitis, La Crosse encephalitis, Western equine encephalitis, West Nile virus, Zika virus. Genghis Khan was killed by a mosquito. So was Alexander the Great. How about that? Man, I'm getting worked up over these animals, these bad animals. All right, here, you ready for number 2? Little M, you ready for number 2? Okay. Number 2, the number 2 worst animal on the planet that Noah could have gotten rid of, and we wouldn't have to be dealing with them now, is the Pekingese. That's right. The Pekingese. Oh, really? I mean, do you know what Pekingese do? Do you know what they do? Let me tell you what they do. Roll that thing. I'll tell you what they do. Pekingese are known for snorting, snuffling, wheezing, loud snoring, having to regularly brush and comb them because of heavy shedding. They are known for being slow to learn housebreaking. They are known for gassiness and a multitude of potential health problems. They are also the ambassador for orthodontia. orthodontist and optometrist probably look at Pekingese and wish they could find people like that, because they'd just make millions. Pekingese, what a useless animal. Oh, Polly, are you watching today? Polly says rats. No, we already talked about rats, dear. Definitely rats. And she says and roaches and fleas and ticks and mosquitoes. That's right. We talked about ticks and mosquitoes are on my list. Armadillos. You're right. What is the point of an armadillo? It's like possum on the half shell. What is the point of an armadillo? Polly says same is true of many men. Wow. That's pretty rough, dear. We asked the mad people and the easily offended people and the mean people to stay off today. That seems kind of mean. But thank you for joining, dear. Okay, are you ready for the number one animal? This is an animal that I detest. Okay? Now, the animal is the coyote. All right, but I want you to see something. Could you look at this? You see that? Isn't that beautiful? That is a doe and her fawn. Aren't they beautiful? I told you I hated coyotes. This is a coyote with a fawn. They'll also eat them coming out of their mother, then eat the mother. Some people think that coyotes only kill small animals. That's not true. Here's one killing a buck. And now he's about to eat the buck. They will also eat an animal before it's dead. Sorry you had to see this. But I want you to hate coyotes as much as I do. Coyotes will eat your cats. I mean, they'll come right into your neighborhood. They come right into the city. They will eat your dogs. They will eat birds, big birds, little birds. Even here in Orange Beach, we have people who watch the sea turtles nesting and mark off where the eggs are. Coyotes will dig up the eggs and coyotes will eat sea turtles. Look at this. Here's a, well, there you go. That's on Sanibel. But they're eating them here. So, sea turtles. Coyotes will eat watermelons. They'll eat pizza. And coyotes can actually live, if they ain't got anything to eat, coyotes can actually live by eating cow manure because of the grass in cow manure. And these things, you can't get rid of them. Where we live, there used to be beautiful red foxes. We'd see red foxes all the time. And then we started seeing fewer and fewer. And then one day, Polly and I were walking, and I said, "You see that? That is coyote scat." And she said, "How do you know?" She said, "That's because dogs they eat dog food, and you can see like dog food, but that coyote scat has fur in it and feathers and thorns and berries and soon we hadn't seen a red fox. Serena Stoll Gardner says a coyote killed our dog. Yep. We hadn't seen a red fox in years. Now, the coyotes can't kill, or they don't kill many gray foxes because gray foxes can actually climb trees. But red foxes can't. And so all the red foxes are gone. We had pineapples planted in our front yard. And I thought somebody was it's like, who would steal our pineapples? They're like pulled out of the ground. And it was coyotes getting them. I'm telling you, coyotes are bad news. These are not just cute little things carrying an anvil and roller skating with rockets. They're bad news. They're bad news. Who said this? Yancey Annette Murray Harwell had to get several big Great Pyrenees to keep coyotes away from my home. I'm telling you, man, they're so smart that you can't get rid of them. So it's crazy. And they're in cities now, they're on golf courses, and they're killing cats, they're killing dogs. Our neighbor, our neighbor two up, their Jack Russell terrorist was killed by a coyote and eaten. So now let's go back before we do the bonus and do the the bonus thing. Go back to that question that I saw. You know which one it was. Okay. Senator A from St. Louis says, okay, what's different than humans shooting those beautiful deer? Okay, I'll tell you. Number one, when humans shoot a deer, they use them for food. They're eating them. But when you think about a deer, if you just love deer like you love a friend, and you think a deer is like a person, and let's just say that let's equate a deer with a person, okay? And so let's just say that you have a choice. That now God appears to you and says, all right, your best friend is going to die. Now, that's not big news because we all die. Everything dies. We just don't know when, okay? But God says to you, I'm going to tell you when your best friend is going to die. It's going to be July 6th at 4:34 in the afternoon. And you get to decide how they die. So, do you want your best friend to die? There's several choices you can make. Do you want your best friend to starve to death? Starve. Your best friend can get old, lose her teeth, and then be unable to eat and starve. Your best friend could get disease or cancer and die that way. But if they die that way, there's no pain medicine. There is no hospice. Your best friend could get hit by a car. drag him or herself into the woods about 50 yards and suffer for 10 or 12 hours before they die. Your best friend can be attacked by a coyote or other animal and eaten while your best friend is still alive. Or your best friend can be shot and never know what hit him. Now, see, this is the thing nobody thinks about. Those other things I listed, that's the only way animals die. I mean, everything I listed, that's the only way animals die. I mean, they look really pretty, and I take pictures of them too. Okay, but when you get to reality, that's the only way animals die. So, are you ready for the add-on? Here's the add-on. This one didn't make the list of the top 10 animals Noah should have thrown from the ark, but this one almost made the list. The ferret. Yep, the ferret. Now, granted, ferrets look cool. They are, after all, the limousine of rats. That's what Austin told me, that the limousine of rats. However, there's a big problem with ferrets, and all you have to do is Google them to find out what it is. The first thing that pops up when you Google a ferret is a question. And somebody asked it, and people keep hitting it. It's, how do I keep my ferret from smelling? Now, the proper way to ask that question is, how do I keep my ferret from stinking? Because see, either way, smelling or stinking, either way, the answer is the same. You can't keep them from smelling or stinking. Ferrets just stink. Here's a listed answer to the question. Okay, 1, wipe the hard surfaces of your house and change your ferret's bedding daily. 2, keep your ferret clean. 3, clean the ears of the ferret every week. 4, brush the teeth of your ferret at least once a week. 5, neuter your ferret at a young age. 6, train your ferret to make use of the litter box. 7, clean the litter box twice a day. You don't want this thing as a pet. And Noah could have made sure you didn't even know what one was. But there you go. There you go. Okay. Yeah, there's the top 10 animals that Noah should have kicked from the ark. What are your choices? Polly gave us hers. You know, she thinks armadillos shouldn't have made it. And what else does she say? Fleas. Yeah, fleas. Probably a lot of animals that you just don't know why they made it, but they did. You know, ticks. If there were 2 ticks on the ark, they had a lot to choose from. Those ticks probably went from animal to animal, just spreading disease. Anyway, that's it for today. Gary Stuckey, wait a minute. Gary Stuckey says, I always wanted a ferret. He wanted to name it Ferret Fawcett. That's very cool. That's very funny. All right. Well, that's it for today. We had a great time and hope you had a great time, and we will see you Thursday.